Okay. Boom. Big Shaq. Old tight snake. Scoop no. Rat no. Usna. Old tight the girl them as well. Boom.
There's no denying that 2017 brought us a lot of new memes, both good and bad. But out of all the hundreds of memes last year, there was one that completely overshadowed the rest. Man's not hot. I'm assuming if you're watching a video titled How Hot Was Big Shaq, you know who Big Shaq is. However, if you don't know, Big Shaq is a character played by British comedian Michael Dappa. On August 29th of 2017, a video appeared on YouTube featuring Big Shaq performing a satirical freestyle titled Man's Not Hot on a radio station. Both the video and the freestyle quickly gained a ton of attention all over the internet, and people started referencing, quoting, and making memes out of it everywhere. Eventually, on October 25th, Michael Dappa uploaded a music video featuring Big Shaq performing Man's Not Hot in different locations all over the world. The music video received well over 150 million views, and it's still currently averaging over 1 million views every single day. In the video, Big Shaq wears the same black jacket in every single scene and repeatedly states that he's not hot. So, this kind of leads us to the topic of today's useless video. Exactly how hot was Big Shaq in his music video? He was outside in multiple scenes of the video, so it should be possible to figure out how hot Big Shaq was by finding out the temperatures in the outdoor scenes. To do that, we would need to know all of the outdoor locations that Big Shaq filmed the music video in, as well as the date and approximate time each outdoor scene was filmed. Then, once we know the dates, times, and locations, we can look at historical temperature data from NOAA and Weather Underground to estimate how hot Big Shaq really was. Oh, and by the way, quick shout out to the 10 people on my Twitter that voted for this video. You guys don't know what you got yourselves into. Anyway, let's begin with the easy part, locations. The first location that the video was filmed in is in Miami. This is proven by this frame, which shows the Royal Palm Hotel in Miami Beach, and this frame, which shows the Pelican Hotel in Miami Beach. After that, the second location was Toronto. This part was pretty hard to figure out. The third place was Amsterdam. This is of course proven by the I Amsterdam sign. Next, the fourth location is London, because this scene is filmed in front of the London Eye. And finally, the fifth location was New York, because this scene shows Big Shaq in front of 1540 Broadway. This gives us 5 locations where the music video was filmed outside. We got the easy part done, but now we have to figure out when Big Shaq was in these locations. It may seem impossible to figure out at first, but by analyzing the social media accounts of Michael Dappa and Marv Brown, the director of the video, we can actually figure it all out. Let's begin in Miami. On October 6th, Big Shaq was at the 2017 BET Hip Hop Awards, which took place in Miami Beach at 8 PM EST that day. Before October 6th, Big Shaq was busy working with Noisy on a People vs. video, which was uploaded that same morning. This article posted by the Noisy UK staff says that Big Shaq came into their office to work with them, which means that prior to the Hip Hop Awards, Big Shaq was in the UK and not in Miami filming his music video. Even if Big Shaq was in Miami before October 6th, according to Instagram, it was raining badly in Miami on October 4th and 5th, which would have made it impossible to film the outdoor scenes. Therefore, October 6th was the first day they could have started filming the video. Now let's jump forward a few days to October 8th. At 6:30 PM EST, Michael Dappa tweeted that he landed safely in Toronto. A flight from Miami to Toronto takes about 3 hours and 10 minutes, which means that his flight departed at about 3:20 PM that day. The TSA estimates that people usually arrive at the airport about 3 hours before international flights, so he was probably at the airport at around 12:20 PM. It takes about 20 minutes to get to the airport from Big Shaq's hotel, so the latest he left his hotel was probably around 12 PM. If the video was filmed that day, it had to be filmed early in the morning. This would mean that the Miami scene in the music video had to be filmed either on October 6th before the Hip Hop Awards, October 7th, or the morning of October 8th. Now that we've narrowed it down a bit, let's consider the sun. If you look closely at the shadows on the ground in this scene from the music video, Big Shaq's shadow is directly behind him, meaning that the sun must be in front of him. We need to find out the exact spot that Big Shaq is standing in and use that to figure out where the sun is. In that same scene, we can see that there's a beach entrance to the left of him and a row of trees right behind him. Looking at this satellite picture of the park, we could see the same entrance and row of trees featured in the music video. This would mean that Big Shaq was standing somewhere around here, facing in this direction. His shadow would be directly behind him, which means that the sun would be somewhere over in this direction. If you measure the sun's position in this situation, it tells us that it would be around 5 or 5:30 in the afternoon. This would probably rule out the video being filmed on October 6th because Big Shaq already arrived at the BET Hip Hop Awards at 5:32 and entered them at 5:43. Keep in mind, he still had to go back to his hotel, change, and drive over to the awards show, so he probably didn't have enough time to film that day. It also rules out October 8th, since Big Shaq was in the middle of a flight to Toronto at that time. Therefore, we can conclude that the Miami scene was probably filmed on the afternoon of October 7th, and the temperature would have been around 86 degrees at that time. Now that we figured that out, let's move on to Toronto. Like I said earlier, Big Shaq landed in Toronto at 6:30 PM EST on October 8th. He probably didn't do any filming that day because by the time he got his baggage from the airport and got to his hotel, it was already dark. The only two possible days that they could have filmed the music video were October 9th or October 10th because both Big Shaq and Marv Brown were already in Amsterdam on October 11th. On October 9th, Marv Brown posted this picture of himself at the CN Tower on his Facebook page. If you look at the clouds in the music video, they look almost the same as the ones in Marv Brown's picture, meaning that he probably took this picture around the same time he was filming Big Shaq. Because he posted this picture on October 9th, it would be impossible for the video to be filmed on October 10th. Michael Dappa also tweeted that he would be at the Ghost Label store in Toronto at 2:30 that afternoon. He probably ended up filming at the CN Tower right before or right after he went to the shop since it's only a couple blocks away. Therefore, we can conclude that the Toronto scene was probably filmed on the afternoon of October 9th, and the temperature that afternoon was around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's move on to the next location where Big Shaq filmed, Amsterdam. There's absolutely no evidence of Michael Dappa being in Amsterdam on his Twitter or Facebook page. However, if you look through the Instagram pictures that he was tagged in, we can see that he was tagged in a bunch of pictures at local Amsterdam locations that were uploaded on October 11th. In addition to that, Marv Brown uploaded a picture of him and Big Shaq in front of the I Amsterdam sign on his Facebook at 8:52 PM that same day. Although this makes it extremely likely that the scene was filmed on October 11th, we can't say that it was for certain. There's still the possibility that the video was filmed on October 10th, and Big Shaq went out and visited all those places on October 11th. So, where was Big Shaq on October 10th? Was he still in Toronto? Or was he in Amsterdam filming? Surprisingly, neither. He was actually in London. On October 11th, this Instagram picture was posted saying, "Last night was super lit," featuring Michael Dappa live performance. I searched up the location where the Instagram picture was taken in and found this promotional poster that said that Big Shaq was performing in London on October 10th, proving that he was busy in London that day. Therefore, we know for a fact that October 11th was the day that Big Shaq filmed Man's Not Hot in Amsterdam. The temperature that day was extremely consistent and was a steady 59 degrees the entire day, so that's how hot he had to be in Amsterdam. Now let's move on to the next location where he filmed, London. After his Amsterdam trip, Big Shaq returned to London to perform at another venue on October 12th. But here, we run into a problem. Big Shaq could have filmed the London scene on a lot of different days. He could have filmed it any time before October 6th, on October 10th when he was performing in London, or between October 12th and October 15th, since he was already in New York on October 16th. Unfortunately, both Michael Dappa and Marv Brown's social media accounts have no helpful information that can help us determine which day they filmed the scene. However, there is one person who can help us, and it's this man right here, Big Shaq's friend Ashney. On October 15th, Ashney posted this video of him and Big Shaq together on his Twitter with the quote, "Lit day filming with the broski." Because he's implying that he spent the day recording the scene with Big Shaq, the London scene in Man's Not Hot had to be filmed the same day the tweet was posted, October 15th. Now, just like we did in Miami, we can use the sun to figure out the approximate time of the day. In this situation, Big Shaq and his friends are standing in a park right next to the London Eye, which is somewhere around here. In the video, the sun is to the left of the London Eye. If we map out the sun in that position again, it would be somewhere around 3 in the afternoon. On the afternoon of October 15th, the temperature in London was about 66 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's how hot Big Shaq was. Finally, the last place that Big Shaq visited was New York. Michael Dappa sent a tweet stating that he landed in New York on October 16th. He also posted a different tweet saying that he was looking for a cameraman in New York that same week, probably to help him film the video. This means that the music video must have been filmed in New York sometime between October 16th and October 22nd. Unfortunately, this is the one location where there's not enough evidence to narrow down the exact date the scene was filmed. However, there is a minor detail in the video that can still help us. If you look in the background of the music video, there's a blurry but readable clock showing the time, 0:36 or 12:36 AM. This automatically makes it impossible for the scene to be filmed on October 16th, since Big Shaq landed in New York that day at 5:28 PM. On top of that, Big Shaq still needed to find and schedule a meeting with a proper cameraman, which probably took him another day or two. This leaves us with 4 possible days where the video was filmed. If we look at the historical temperature data in New York at 12:36 AM, it was about the same temperature at that time on all 4 days, around 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Therefore, there's no need to find the exact date Big Shaq filmed, since the temperature was the same regardless of which date the scene was filmed, 62 degrees Fahrenheit. So, in conclusion, when Big Shaq filmed the Miami scene, it was about 86 degrees outside. In Toronto, it was about 68 degrees. In Amsterdam, about 59. London, it was about 66 degrees. And finally, in New York, about 62. But at the end of the day, does the temperature even really matter if
Man can never be hot!